What's going on, YouTube? Claic Yuzolt back again with another Final Fantasy Brave Exvius banner review, and one of the units everybody's been talking about, been waiting for, is finally out. Heavenly Technician Lid, or as I call all of the CG units, CG Lid, is out, bringing along Heltic, Ulrika's upgrade to 6-star. We'll look into that. Killian, which is another great FFBE design unit. Not sure if they're good or not, though. And then we'll talk about Lid and why you should or should not pull for her and how good she actually is. So let's go ahead and look at Heltic here. We're only going to go to the 6-star upgrades. Heltic used to be a 3-star up to 5-star base. I do believe Heltic was one of the most pulled units ever, just because of the sheer amount of the time that Heltic has been pulled. I remember that from an FFBE fan festa. Let's go down and see what they get at 6-star. Spiritual Transmutation. Increase magic 100% for 3 turns to all allies. Decrease spirit 50% for 3 turns to all allies. We don't want to worry about that. That's a bad move, because we have bards that can do that for us without having the bad part about it. Magic 3.2 times with North Sprint 25% to one enemy. If used after a magical awakening, name changes to True Originating Swirl. Magic damage 3.2 times with an order defense 50% to one enemy. 6.4 times, 12 hits, so it can chain up a little bit, which is pretty awesome. Increase magic, Liberation is the next ability. Increase magic 150% for 5 turns to caster. Decrease defense and spirit 75% 5 turns to caster. Enable the following ability for 4 turns, Soul Drive. Gets the ability, has like a Magic Rod Mastery, Soul Drive. Magic damage 3 times with consecutive increased uses to all enemies. Okay, so, let me make sure I'm not missing anything here. It gets Meteor, Osmos, and the 6-star, same thing. So, overall, not the best when we have Victoria. I mean, I'm not saying that Heltic isn't, Heltic's just not, that doesn't change much for me. Magical Awakenings, you know, has the ability to chain, I guess. Frame delay is 120. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, so she's gonna have to chain with someone that has 10 frames, which may just be her, because look at that huge delay at the beginning is 120, so doesn't seem very good there. Gonna have to change with another one. No one's gonna have a Heltic on their team. It is, you know, elementless damage, so maybe if you need to chain up like that, don't really care about this Soul Drive. I don't really want to be using this ability and making her 75% weaker in the defense and spirit category just for 50 more magic, when we could just use Magical Awakening and then maybe cast, I don't know. It just, I guess you cast Magical Awakening and True Originating Swirl, in which case one of the turns, every turn is going to be taken off to cast Magical Awakening. So, not really that great, not a huge upgrade for me. Heretic Abyss, increase MP and magic 15%, increase Dark Resist 20%. Now the Dark Resist is sweet. Don't sleep on the Dark Resist with a little bit of MP, and a little bit of things thrown on top, because you know how much when we have to fight Espers, 3-star Espers are going to have dark damage. That's going to be important, but other than that, not that great. And Ulrika gets a bunch of flames around her when she goes up. Remember her being one of the worst units ever, in my opinion. When she came out, she was just a counter person. I remember Tech Maki using her in the arena, but we'll see if anything changed with her at 6-star. Mortal Instinct. Okay, these are all traits. Oh, she got an ability. Woo! She got another ability, baby. She did it. Sight of Awakening. Physical damage 1.6 times to all enemies. Increase limit burst gauge 5 to casters. So, building up that limit burst gauge, and the other thing is weak as hell. Let's look at Mortal Instinct. Increase HP, increase limit burst. Okay, so they're really wanting you to use the limit burst. Put a hammer on her, put an axe on her. She has hammer and axe mastery now. She has double hand. Alright. Chance to counter magic attacks 35% with restrained aggression. Physical damage 4 times with ignore defense. So, physical damage 8 times. Okay. Chance to counter physical attacks 35%, Hammer of Fury 10 times. Multiplier on that one. Too bad it's 35%. She has a million other counters, and she has to get hit for it to work out for her. Not that great, but let's look at this limit burst. Physical damage 9.4 times to one enemy. Berserk attack plus 300% to caster. It's not good enough, dude. It's not good enough. Even if you get that, it's not good enough, because she has to get smacked to do anything. These are the only moves you guys can use without her getting smacked in the face. Everything we fight now, we need AoE cover or provoke, or our people are going to die. Maybe in the arena, though. Again, the wise old Tech Maki did use her in the arena. Maybe you guys build her up in the arena, they smack you, and then you beat the crap out of them. As long as she survives, if you can make her live, maybe that'll work out. Other than that, Ulrika's a bad character. She's bad. She's bad, in my opinion. All right, Killian. Not to get confused with Krillin. I make bad jokes. Refining Engine Axe. Okay, this is an axe that gives you the fire element, 130 attack. So, hey, there you go. If we're in a need of an axe that has fire element attached to it, 130 attack is nothing to, you know, shake a stick at. That's a lot of attack. So for our axe wielders, this is going to be something to go for. Again, just a beautiful design on the character. They always make the FFBE units so nice. Physical attacker, what kind of physical attacks you got for us, buddy. So not a long list here. Physical damage 3 times to one enemy. Don't worry about that. Backfire, fire physical damage 1 point times to all enemies. Heat operation. Increase attack 50% for 3 turns to all allies. So this is like not good again because of Soleil and all the bards and all the buffers. They're almost always more than 50% now. Increase ice resistance 70% for 3 turns to all allies. Now that might be good in an instance where you're gonna need a big ice buff. Maybe you can use him there and also have a little bit of damage. Sorry for that. Sorry for that noise that keeps popping up. I can stop that now. That's going to be from the Exvius wiki. It's just going to start trying to play ads at us, but I have now since muted it, so hopefully that you guys don't hear that. Flash over physical damage 3.5 times to one enemy. Decrease fire resist, so we have a fire imperil for 5 turns. Not too bad. But again, I mean, 50%. When we're using fire imperilers, we're going to have probably a higher one than that, or it's going to be on our fire imperiler themselves. Physical damage 1 point times to consecutive increased damage up to 4.2 times max. Not good enough. Increase limit burst gauge 1 to 3 to all allies. So you can just sit there and be buffing up your limit burst gauge, fuel supply. 1 to 3, I mean, if you roll a 1, it really sucks. But yeah. Let's go to Igniter. Increase attack 80% for 5 turns to caster. Add fire element to attack for 5 turns to caster. What is this? 80%. Oh my god. Enable access to the following ability for 1 turn. Transmission. Come on, transmission. Be like a 70 times multiplier. Use gear up 4 times in 1 turn. What? I mean... Alright, so you can get up to 12, right? Wait, no. Wait. So you can get it 4 is on the low end if you use this 4 times. And on the high end, it's 12, right? So you can get up to 12 limit burst crystals in a turn. That's not even to fill up a limit burst. And that's how you take off a turn. He is a limit burst battery. He's trying to fill up the limit burst gauge. We don't care about plant killer because we're not using him to do damage. Increase resistance to disease 100%. Increase fire resist 30%. Increase physical damage just so much. We don't care. We don't care about an axe mastery. We don't care about true double hand because he just doesn't have the multipliers. What's this? Fire damage 8.4 times all enemies. Decrease fire damage 80. Fire resist 84%. All right, well, that's actually a pretty big deal. 84% is a lot. And his limit burst does for 8.4 times. So maybe we do build him true double hand. And we just stomp somebody down with the fire damage after lowering it down to 84%. I mean, this guy could be useful if he maybe as your fire imperiler on your... I know, I just said, your fire imperiler is probably going to be more than this or do it on their own. But the ability to build up everybody's limit burst maybe... Be like cast this, like his rotation would be like Igniter, Transmission, Igniter, Transmission, Igniter, Transmission, then use Blazing Drive once you get it up. It's 20 crystals. And then everybody else should have their limit burst too. It's a little too cute for me. He doesn't really do anything else. I guess the damage on here is kind of okay, but not the best in the world. So overall, very niche character. Doesn't seem like they're going to be able to do much. So Killian, I'm sorry. But you're just not good enough, man. This character isn't going to be finding very many homes on very many teams. There may be a time when you want to call him out, though, for that 84% fire resist thing, but you're going to have to level up his limit burst. What is it at lower levels? Let's see, 6-star, 60%. Still more than his 50% at least. So that's not too bad. All right, we've gone over all the poopy units. So every unit on this banner is poopy. 2 3-stars, 1 4-star. You don't care about getting any of them. Maybe for that axe. Maybe you want one for that fire axe. All right. But let's talk about CG Lid. Let's talk about the character everybody's been waiting for and wanted to talk about. CG Lid coming out here. We have Invigorator as the accessory TMR here that you get if you get the 5-star base Lid, whose literally only role is to break. We'll get into that in a minute, but she is a debuffer. That is her role. That's all she does. All right? It's an accessory, MP 35, defense 10. Not the biggest stats in the world, but it's because of this. That's pretty good. Auto heal, 1800 HP 1 times per turn. Recover MP 10% per turn. Increase limit burst fill rate 2 per turn. So if you need to build up somebody to be using their limit burst, similar to CG Lid here, we're going to want her to have her limit burst up. It'll be good for you. This is very similar to Ayaka's TMR, etc., etc. So it's not the best TMR in the world. It's also not the worst one because you definitely can find utility for it. It's not game breaking. It's not something you need to farm immediately. It's not anything too insane. So, essentially, in my opinion, before I even look at everything that she has, I already know a lot about her. We're going to build her tanky. We're going to build her her ability to build up her limit burst. You're going to build her tanky with a lot of health, a lot of spirit, a lot of defense, and then as many things that increase her limit burst fill rate per turn and everything like that as you can because her limit burst is insane. All right, so we're going to move on down here. We're going to look at her abilities. She can analyze, view the info on the thing, on the enemy. Maintenance. It sucks because I'm going to kind of speed through these because they all don't really matter. Increase limit burst fill rate 200% for 3 turns to caster. That's going to be good to cast on her because, again, we want to use her limit burst. Full metal kick doesn't matter. We got sun beam light. What is that? 92, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Don't think we really care about this move. This is going to be the magic physical damage, isn't it? So the thing we were talking about last time with Leela. So maybe you could find a way to chain this in. So maybe she can help with a little bit of chaining, maybe to build up a chain. So that might be useful. Increase attack, defense, magic, and spirit break. Resist 100% to for 2 turns to 1 ally. Use own limit burst gauge to fill allies' gauge. So like the problem with this move is 1, it's not AoE, which it should have been AoE. 2, you have to get rid of your limit burst gauge. So it gives you an option to do that. I guess in a situation where you would want to do that, but there's not a lot of situations where if you're using Lid, you don't want to be using her limit burst. You want to be using this. It's not that good. Okay, here's our 2 breaks that you can use on command. Actually, they're down there. So there's your 2 breaks you can use. They're AoE, defense and spirit break 50%, attack and magic spirit. Attack and magic spirit. Attack and magic 50% for 3 turns to all allies. So if you want to use AoE breaks, if you need to use AoE breaks, you can do that 50%. Now that's nothing too crazy, but it's still really strong. It's more than the 45% we're used to on a couple of our tanks there. And it's AoE. It's just like the Arms Eraser or Armor Eraser, except for it's 50%. We have Super Invention, which I know people say, like, say how to say this. They say she doesn't really do anything else on her off turns if she's not, after she's broken, which is really true. She should have had some kind of like, some kind of different abilities to be using, which will maybe you throw a Karaga on her. You throw the Holy Wand on her. Can she equip staffs? Let's look. Hold up. Yeah. You throw a Holy Wand on her, and then she just starts like side healing. But she also has this ability here that can recover the MP for everybody. And then it has the ability to cast, you know, depending on the percentages, one of these other moves. We'll get down into those eventually, but it's 50%, 30%, 17%, 3%. Can I hover over this and it tells me? Nah, I wish it did, but it doesn't. But essentially, you can use this move. Everybody on our team gets 30 MP. It's not the best. It's not the best thing. We'll see what other things will happen with it. Rubber Hammer. Cure Sleep and Confuse to 1 ally, except yourself. Cure Charm to 1 ally, except for yourself. So it's pretty cool that it gets rid of Charm. Maybe you'll find some uses for that. But here's her main abilities right here. Decrease magic 60% for 5 turns to 1 enemy. Increase magic 120% for 5 turns to herself. She can buff herself by 120%, but Soleil's getting you there anyway. And you were not really using her for any of those reasons anyway. For it, maybe her defense and spirit being buffed up would be pretty cool. If you don't have somebody that can buff that high, but her attack and magic, we're not doing damage with her anyway. But on command, she can break every stat by 60%. And I'm not sure if you guys have watched, Hal's video on how much breaks matter in this game, but breaks are astronomically they matter a lot. If you can break something, you're taking way less damage. The damage mitigation when you break an attack or magic, when they do that a move, is huge. The more the break is. So, for example, 60% is a lot more than 50%. The 10% is a big deal. All right. When you see that, don't think, oh, it's only 10%. It's not that big of a deal. It is. The same goes for when you break their defense or spirit for how much damage amplification you do to them because of that. He has a great video. I may link it in the description below. You guys can check that out. But yeah, so you can do that on command on any one of those. Now, it is only, it is lower than, let's say, Delita and Elza when they do defense and spirit. I think it's 4% lower after they've been enhanced, which, again, is a kind of a big deal. 4% is still kind of a lot. But they cannot break attack and magic. She can break both attack and magic and defense and spirit. And she can do it to 60% or AoE 50%, whatever you need to do. Very, very good breaks. Very strong. Very important there. Very, very good. Moving on down, increase spirit and defense, increase MP. These are just auto things. Stat ups. Auto heal 60 HP, and then you get recover MP. How much is this MP here? 36? Not too bad. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. I know it said 3,000, whatever. Increase physical damage. We don't care about that. Increase HP and attack by 30%. I care about the HP 30% with a hammer, so you definitely want to put a hammer on her. I really wish her hammer would have been her TMR. That huge chocobo thing, it looks awesome. It looks awesome. Increase limit burst gauge fill 100%. So she already has 100%. You can make it 200% more, so 300% total. Cap it off there. And these are the abilities she can type. She can have happen. And yeah, so it looks like they go all the way down to from highest to lowest that'll happen. All right. Mitigate damage taken 30% for 3 turns to all allies. If this move could have been done on command, CG Lid would have been really, really, really good. But you can't. It's going to happen 50% of the time when you cast this ability and get some MP, which is awesome. But it's not going to happen all the time. Activated by Super Invention. If you cast it, what's percentage of the time on this? 30% of the time, everybody's getting healed to 100%. So she can be that healer you may need, or she might not heal at all, and then you're in trouble. So that could happen. Running Fire Plus happens 17% of the time. Physical damage, 3-point times with an defense 25% to one enemy. A 40 hit, 42 startup, 5-5 is very common. Chizuru, Tidus. There are people you can chain with it, but you're never going to be able to chain with it. I mean, it's going to be really hard because you're going to cast it, and then you're going to have to see what she casts afterwards. And it's only going to happen 17% of the time. I don't like this being in there because we don't care about her doing damage. We just don't. It's not enough damage to worry about. And then we have 3% of the time she's going to do the physical fixed attack with physical damage, meaning that she doesn't apply, that's like the whole Cetra thing, where it doesn't apply to their defense. 12 times to all enemies and all allies. Okay, didn't read that part. So, this ability's bad to cast. You can literally kill your whole team. You can accidentally kill your whole team when explosive type panic shells gets cast. Oh my god, can you imagine being at the end of a trial? You're like, all right, dude, we're hoping for this damage mitigation taken. It's 50%. I'm going to do a coin flip. Nope. Explosive type panic shells. Boom. Fixed damage. Defense don't matter. Your tank isn't mattering. It's getting blown up. Like, oh, man, that'd be terrible. All right, so I don't even know if I'd want to cast this. I'd be scared to cast this. And we all know everybody's getting rainbows at that 3% rate. It happens. So, I don't think I like that. Anyway, yeah, I don't even know if I can. Dude, that's playing with fire. That is playing with fire. Why do you do that? Why you design her with that? I mean, it's kind of funny because it's like she has a thing that just blows up. I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about her limit burst. This is one, if you get her and you're going to be using her, you definitely want to level up. We go from physical damage doesn't matter, guys. Again, decrease attack, defense, magic, and spirit. That's all 4 stats by 45% for 2 turns to all enemies. It's a 28 fill rate up, so it takes a little bit to get filled up. But again, she can get up to 300% on her own limit burst fill rate, and you can build her. She is literally made to be built with a lot of tankiness, in my opinion, and then as much limit burst as you could, like Riku would be. Could she put fist weapons on? Oh, put that robot arm on her, Aegeon arm or whatever. That'll be pretty good. Physical damage, whatever. But if you level it up, it goes to a break of 70% for 2 turns on all stats. AoE, 70% break. Now, to get this thing popping off every 2 turns, it's going to be pretty hard. I think it's going to be a little bit of RNG involved. You're going to have to hope. I don't even think you do worry about getting that 70% off every turn. I don't even know if you may cast this with her, but you may wait, honestly. You may break first, do one of these breaks you need to do first, and then cast this, and then slowly build up the limit burst while maybe running Super Invention. I don't think I do that. Like, I stay away from that. I thought it'd be awesome because you can just get the 30 MP, but if it backfires on you, I mean, these 2 options are awesome. I like both of these options, and that's going to be, it's going to be 80% of the time you're going to get a good thing. But if you get that 3% of the time, it's going to wreck your run. So I don't know. Maybe you play around with it. Anyway, level up her limit burst. 70% is an epic fuck ton of breakage. All right? It's very, very strong. Very good. You guys get it. You guys get it. So overall, not really that in-depth CG lid. Literally, like we said, she only has the ability to break. And that's going to be her role. We can try to build her into some type of hybrid healer in a way, if we wanted to throw some material on her, but I think she's better suited for breaking. Now, why is that really good? Yes, it's really good. The problem is, again, you're going to have to take out one of your slots on your team, which is made of 6 people, and sometimes they cut it to 5 because they say 5 or less, to where she only does that. We have other units who can break, around her level, that, they do a lot of other stuff, like Warrior Lighter Bosk or something like that, you know what I mean? So, in 10-man trials, I think that she's going to be amazing, because obviously you can just swap her in, she could break, and then you can swap her out. She can do the 60% break. A lot of these trials are already resistant to a lot of breaks anyway, which brings me to my next point. If things are resistant to breaks, she is useless. She will stay on the bench. She will not do anything else for you. So, is she really good? Yes. Is she really good at 1-turn KOs, making raids easy if they can get their defense and spirit broken, making sure you can survive if you can break down attack and magic? Yes, because it is that much damage mitigation more than what your normal breaks are at the 45% range and things like that you're used to, unless you're using an enhanced Alita. Actually, enhanced Alita, enhanced Elza can't even help you with that, right? Because they can't do attack and magic. So you'll see yourself surviving a lot more hits because of how much she can break off, all right? Break down the opponent. I do want to hint at some things in the future, and I don't like doing that too often, but I think this is kind of serious. With 7 stars coming on the way, Lauren rivals or beats CG Lid when it comes to breaks, okay? So if you have 2 Laurens in your unit box already, or you have one, you think you might get one down the road, she becomes a breaking beast, along with being able to imperil a lot and do a lot of damage. Very strong damage dealer. So she will replace CG Lid entirely. CG Lid has not gotten enhancements in JP yet, but she has gotten her 7-star, and it's not the best in the world. Lauren still reigns supreme. And then, a spoiler alert, if you don't want to know about a unit coming out, mute me now. I'll give a thumbs up when I'm done talking about it, all right? 3, 2, 1. Okay, Orin comes out from Final Fantasy X. You guys know how I like Final Fantasy X. Orin's my boy, and he's an incredible breaker who can also do a lot more too. Rivals CG Lid, rivals Lauren in breaking when it comes to the 7-star meta, and also does a lot more. So that's where you have to kind of think about it. CG Nicole is coming out soon. So with Orin and Lauren on the docket, that some things that can help you beyond this. If you don't need a breaker right now, if it will help your game if you haven't beat the trials. But if you've been beating the trials, you're well, you don't really need to worry about it. You don't have to get her, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. All right, back to me. That's what I was saying. CG Nicole's coming out, one of the best support units in the game. Going to be coming out next month probably. So he should be the next CG unit. So probably a month from now. So if you want to save your Lapis up for that, you're more than welcome to. So overall, what do I think about this banner? It is a weird banner for me to tell you if you want to pull or not. I can just give you the information I talked about. If you will be happy with a breaker who literally only breaks but does the best at her job, you have it in your box. When a raid comes out, pull her out. Use it, because normally the raids can be defense and spirit broken. You're good to go. She will have her uses. She will save your ass in a lot of situations. She's a very good unit, but you don't absolutely need her. And again, if you have Lauren or 2 Laurens, the 7-star is going to be really great for you too. And the rest of the banner is straight shit. So you gotta think about it like that too. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below if you're pulling for CG Lid or if you already pulled for her. Also, guys, my stream will be pushed to Saturday. So my normal pull night stream will be pushed to Saturday. I don't know what time. I will try to leave it on my Twitter, so make sure you guys follow me on Twitter about what time. Probably around the 8 p.m. Range. I'm thinking. It could be a little bit earlier though, I'm sure. And then subscribe for future content. We'll catch you guys in the next video.